This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I'm here with Hearts, Hands, and Hope Foundation. Since 2018, this nonprofit has been supporting women and children who are battling breast and childhood cancer so that their battle may be easier. I am joined with basically the founders, if you will. Let's start off a little bit about yourself, Paul. Paul, you worked in corporate America. You were an Army Ranger. You were deployed for our country. Thank you very much for joining us here today. Mom, I want to start with you a little bit and really ask you what you were doing prior to 2016. Before this organization began, tell me a little bit about that.
Working at Bennett Schools, transportation. I'm on my 45th year, so prior to that it was go to work and live my life till I found out about the cancer.
Excellent. Trenda, we're going to put everything on you here. This basically is an organization that you founded here. Safe to say, prior to 2016, things were a little bit normal for you, and then things happened. You received your formal education from Regis University. Basically, you were a teacher, special education teacher, prior to 2016. You now work from home. Share with me a little bit about this, how this journey got started for you before 2016.
Sure. Everybody always says that, big life events aren't going to happen to them. And that's what happened with me and my mom. We always said, cancer will never happen to us. We did not have a family history of cancer. In 2016, the beginning of September, my mom was diagnosed. I got the phone call. And it was a weird thing. It was kind of like an out-of-body experience. I was driving home from work, and I hung up from her, and I just had that feeling that I needed to call my doctor and get in there. And I called him, and I was like, I need to get in for a mammogram. And he was like, well, we can do it, but insurance isn't going to pay for it because it hasn't been a year yet. And I said, that's okay. I will pay for it. I'm just going with my gut. I need to get this mammogram done. And he scheduled me for the next day, and I wasn't even out, and the doctor told me, we have to wait for the biopsy results, but I'm willing to bet everything I have, yours is going to come back as cancer. And Paul and I had just got engaged a couple of days before, and I came home, and I was like, my mom has cancer. The doctor's pretty sure that I have cancer, and I tried giving him a free pass since we had just gotten engaged, and I was like, you didn't sign up for this, and he took me to the courthouse and married me. So from that day forward, we just, we forged ahead. We didn't understand why it was happening to us. Like I said, there was no family history. We just knew that there was a reason. God throws everything at us for a reason. And after we both had our surgeries and I started treatment, Hearts, Hands, and Hope came to fruition, and that was our reason.
That was the reason behind that. Talk about a year. Definitely something that you all went through. The word cancer, it's a scary word to even use. I think it's almost taboo to say that word because we sometimes feel like if we even say the word, maybe, if we don't say it, it won't happen to us. But yet, as you have seen, that this is something that can happen to anyone out there. This is something you experienced at a kind of an eventful time of your life. She gave you a pass to walk away. What were you really thinking at that moment?
A lot of things. I had found my best friend, and then she was like, okay with me walking away, which I wasn't okay with. And what self-respecting man would walk away from a woman that just says, oh, I've got cancer or breast cancer, and then just walk away? That's not right. She's my best friend. She's my wife. and it's just not one of those things that should have even been thought about. It's just, let's go do this and take care of it, and let's figure out what we got to do.
Very brave of you. Obviously, you've been in a brave situation. You've been deployed multiple times for our country. This was another battle that you looked square in the eyes and decided to run forward. Let me ask you this. Obviously, when a person receives this diagnosis of cancer, we receive empathy. I mean, people around us are, they're very in tune. Yet at the same time, you feel they don't really give it the respect and credit that it deserves because it's not happening to you, so it's really hard to relate with. Is that been important for you to really raise that awareness?
Very much so. Very much so. One of the first things we tell the beneficiaries that come to us, we tell them it is okay to recognize every single emotion you're going to feel. In a matter of 10 minutes, you can feel angry, scared, alone, overwhelmed, frustrated, and everything in between. And we tell them that is perfectly fine. It is okay. And honestly, we'd be more worried if they weren't experiencing all of those emotions. And so we just tell them to go with it. Find somebody that they can talk to, or find a hobby that can, help them get through the harder emotions. And, we tell them, you're not alone. We may have had a different treatment than you're going to have to go through, a different surgery that you're going to have to go through, but regardless, you're not alone.
That is great. When we're talking about cancer, we're talking about one of the most common cancers for women, breast cancer. 1 in 8 women. I mean, that's a chance of 13%. Are these percentages something that you're aware about, especially due to the fact that it really didn't run in the family so much for you?
Yeah, now we are. What's ironic is her cancer and mine of breast cancer. You think breast cancer and you lump it into breast cancer. Hers was totally different than mine. To say we were 4 days apart on it being diagnosed, hers was more severe than mine, but they were not. It's a label. People say breast cancer, and there's so many kinds, so many degrees. So we learned to deal with that too. Like she said, everybody reacts different, but everybody's got a different type of cancer. But it still comes down to cancer, and we say cancer sucks to the people.
And that is for sure. Yes, definitely so. I mean, typically in a current year, be it this year, last year, or a year to come, we're talking about 281,000 new cases that are diagnosed. That's pretty staggering. Sadly, or ultimately, over 43,000 people pass away from cancer. You have beat the odds thus far, but I imagine in your journey, you've already experienced people that haven't fared so well.
We have, unfortunately, one of our earliest beneficiaries, due to privacy, I won't go into too many details. She was a very young girl, and unfortunately, she passed away just a little bit over a year ago. As well as through our program, we offer an academic scholarship program. It's called the Diego Alvarado Memorial Academic Scholarship, and we provide that to a high school senior at Bennett High School. It's in the amount of $500, and that's in his honor. He passed away a little bit over 3 years ago. He was a personal friend of ours. He actually was a student of mine when I was teaching, and our families grew incredibly close. And so when he passed, we added childhood cancer to the Foundation's mission, and we do a lot in Diego's memory. He fought to the very end, and that's the least we can do to honor him. And so
Definitely something important that you've added to the foundation.
Yes,
that was important to your journey as well. I mean, we're talking about the second leading cause of cancer death in women. How do we decrease these stats? How do we make them better? Is early detection something that really the starting point?
it is, especially with breast cancer. It's do your daily checks in the shower. If you don't want to do it daily, if you think that's overload, at least once a month. We ask the people who follow us the 19th of each month, do your breast cancer check. And just look for signs, like within your children or your spouses. Look for signs that are a little bit different from what their normal routine is. Are they tired more? Are they, in pain a little bit more? There's just so many different signs that you can look for. So just be aware of those around you and look for something. And don't be afraid to go to the doctor. And if you don't agree with what a doctor says, it's perfectly fine to get a second opinion, a third opinion, until you get an answer that you're satisfied with.
This is an organization that basically exists, first of all, to create awareness, but also to let people know they're not alone. You went through this with another family member. You had family around you. Yet at the same time, were there moments of real aloneness that obviously no one else can help you through?
Now I'll get emotional, but we were there for each other, which in so many ways was good. It forced me to be strong for her. She was strong for me until later we talked about it, 2 a.m. I didn't have to be strong for her and to say, you can do this, and she didn't have to. So yeah, you get those 2 a.m. things of what's going to happen if this isn't, and I say personally, I will never say I had cancer. To me, I have it. To me, there's still the possibility that I will always have it somewhere to come back. And I just say, the people that say I had it, I will never say that to be comfortable. To me, I have it. And I've got to just fight. But we were strong for each other. But those alone moments, man, they were tough when we thought, this is not good.
I thought it was very important an organization like this existed because of the fact I try to put myself in that position. Take us back to that moment. We're talking about a whirlwind of emotions. You're dealing with every kind of emotion you can think of, yet at the same time, they're expecting you to be making doctor appointments for yourself, getting yourself to and from, making some serious decisions. Take us back there a little bit and share with me that week what it was like and how you're hoping that other people can reach out and get some input that was from your experience.
Exactly. So that first week, it was a whirlwind, like you said, finding doctors and, trying to determine what your plan of action is going to be. I met with a team of doctors, and with that first team, I did not have the good feeling that I felt that I needed to move on with them. And that's why I say it's okay to get a second opinion and a third opinion, and that's exactly what I did. I did find another team that we were incredibly blessed to find, and we're personal friends with them today. So they support our foundation incredibly, and so that first week is just finding the doctor who will hear you for what you need to say and what you are feeling and what you are scared of, and you need to find the doctor who will take the time to listen to that and not make you feel like, you're some emotional person,
I mean, these are doctors that are obviously focused, number one, on a solution. They're focused on the medical procedure. Do you feel that doctors sometimes lose sight of the fact that there's a human in front of them, and basically they are not preparing you for the emotions that you're going to be going through? And did you find yourself just wanting to maybe sit down and talk with somebody and, give me the answers? Is that something you felt really as a couple because you don't have the answers in that short of a time period?
Absolutely. It's the first team of doctors, they told me I needed to go meditate. And while meditation is great, I knew meditation was not going to cure my cancer. I wanted to get my cancer cured. We have, between the two of us, we have 4 kids. We now have 4 grandchildren. Family is our world. And I wasn't going to make a risk of meditation being my cure, because I knew at that point I needed science, and that's why I got the second opinion. And that's perfectly fine to do that.
That is great. You have now become a resource. This organization is a resource for families out there that are going through this. Let's talk about how you're able to help. First of all, financial assistance. I mean, your world stopped, but your expenses don't stop. The stresses don't stop. Everything's still coming at you. Is that something that you experience, Paul, that you're trying to maybe provide out there, yet at the same time trying to be there for the family?
Fortunately for us, we weren't in that big of a bind with the financial aspect of it. We found out that that the stuff starts to pile up quick. The trips to the hospitals, the hospital visits in itself with the surgeries, the recovery times, the medicines, the soaps before the surgeries. And we were, I was working for a Fortune 500 company. I was working for a big corporation, and we had the healthcare for it. But then some of these people that get diagnosed don't have that financial stability. So does that mean that they go without that antibacterial wash before surgery? That's not even a possibility. So that's something we focus on. We thought we knew everything was that we had to go through, or we thought we knew everything. Like, oh, it's just simple, in and out procedure. Wrong. We were so not prepared for this. No matter how much research we did, we weren't prepared. So now with both of these ladies here, we've got an understanding of what typically happens. And I say typically because everybody's one off, But now we got those resources, and we know where to go to look, so we can help point others in that direction for financial assistance.
Like you said, you were blessed because you were working at that time. Some things were taken care of for you, and even then, it was highly stressful. So now you look at women out there maybe who are single women, women who are helping out with a family. Quickly, tasks that you used to take for granted, like being able to drive yourself to a doctor, maybe make a meal for yourself or a meal for a family. Meals alone are something that I imagine your organization helps with as well.
Yes, sir. We provide the financial assistance, and I do want to make a point on that if I can. It's when the beneficiaries complete the application, we have them, list what their debts are, and we pay the companies directly. We don't ever at any point hand any beneficiary cash. We pay the debtors directly so that we know that the bills are getting paid for. Meals, we cook, we deliver, we provide gift cards. We provide gift cards for gas in and back and forth to the hospital, transportation, resources.
I mean, mental health support, groups, social outings. Those are quite a few ways that you're able to help people as they go along that battle. Have you seen people reach out to others and actually access some of those resources that basically they maybe wouldn't have done without this organization?
Yes, we have. We had one lady in particular who stated to me that had it not been for the rides that we provided her for her treatment, she wouldn't have been able to get the treatment. So that right there makes it all worth it.
This is an organization that was found by you, really something that you experienced. Obviously, breast cancer for women, that was huge, but you're also a teacher. And let me ask you this, as a teacher, did you feel it was important to include children that are basically affected by cancer as well? So obviously, was it important for you to include cancer within children?
It was, and as I had mentioned earlier, Diego Alvarado, he was a student of mine before we were even diagnosed. And so seeing all of the battles that he faced during his cancer and the strength he had and the positivity that he constantly had, we knew right away that we wanted to incorporate childhood cancer. We just didn't know exactly how. And so when he passed away just shortly after we formed the foundation, once again, that was our reason why.
That is interesting. So even though he is not around to tell his story, the scholarship and the funding will always be around, and I'm sure his story will continue on as well. I mean, if someone finds themselves in a situation like you did, they go to your website, where do they begin? What is the process of actually applying?
Yes, sir. Right on the website, we have the application process. All they have to do is click on the icon. It automatically takes them to the website, and they can complete the application there, send it back to us. Once we receive the application, then we'll talk about it as a board. We'll decide which applicants we can assist, which needs the most help, and then we make a board decision from then on, and then we just start communicating with them and and getting the details.
So it can start pretty quickly. Once they do that, the faster the better. Then you can decide amongst your board. Obviously, with any nonprofit out there, the survival is really about donations, monetary donations. Tell me how some of those organizations out there, companies out there, corporate as well as individuals can get involved and help out.
Yes, thank you. We 100% rely on sponsors, donations, word of mouth. So they can go to our website. There's a donate button on there that they can do that. We also have sponsorship memberships that different corporations and businesses, if they would be interested, we could send them that information. We are a registered 501c3, so all donations are tax deductible, which is a huge, great, tax benefit for corporations and businesses as well as individuals. During the months of September and October, we put together what we call our care package bags, and people can donate towards those as well. We're getting ready to donate this month for childhood cancer. We'll be donating a lot of bags to Children's Hospital, and then next month for Breast Cancer Month.
That is excellent. So obviously monetary is a big thing for any organization. Someone out there wants to maybe just get involved, maybe deliver some care packages, possibly donate their time. Is that something you're open to as well?
Yes. We always need volunteers. They could just call the phone number or write the email that's on the website. Those both come directly to me, and we can inform them of upcoming events that we have going that we do need volunteers for.
3.8 million breast cancer survivors out there in the United States. More than 16,000 children are going to be diagnosed with cancer. This false idea that it will not happen to us, it's just not, it's not true. We as a society need to come together, get educated, and understand that cancer does exist out there, and the only way we're going to beat it, if you will, is to be aware of it, understand, educate yourself on early detection. It's a strange story on how you became here and how this came to be, but has this become rewarding for you as you're able to be there for others in a time of need?
This is my purpose. I won't speak for them, but this has become my purpose. As I said in the beginning, God has a reason for everything, and at first we may not understand it, but He leads us to where we do understand it, and I firmly believe that my cancer battle, my mom's cancer battle, was for this foundation.
That is interesting. I applaud you for basically not only being there for your wife and your family, but you're now out there for many, many other people that you're able to help. Is this something that you wake up every day and understand that you're making a difference?
Yes and no. I can see the difference when we go and touch a family or somebody that's battling this process. No, because, well, I'm behind the scenes. I'm not a woman. I don't know what they're going through, and I don't know how this helps them. But I try. It's kind of one of those, like, do what you can, and then hopefully the best works out.
It definitely is working out for people out there. I've seen the testimonials. I basically have seen people that you've been able to help out there as well. This was something that no mother would ever want for their daughter, no daughter would want for their mother, and yet something that you have lived through and you're continuing to live through. Are you thankful that you're able to put an organization together like this for others?
Yeah, definitely. The advantage we have, too, we're from a very small town, a lot of small towns on the corridor. So we hear about things as typical. Did you hear so-and-so has cancer? This is happening. So that kind of helps where we can locally, and Trenda reaches out. Some say, nope, I don't want any help. I just need to be left alone. We respect that. But then give it a week and they'll contact her. So yeah, it's just a nightmare in so many ways, but then looking back on it, it's like Trenda said, it's come full turn.
That is a wonderful story. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. On the website, learn more about this organization. We're talking about an organization that began in 2018 after a very eventful year of 2016, where a mother and daughter came together. If you are someone who is in need of this type of thing, check out the website and fill out the beneficiary application right there, and they will definitely get back to you and let you know what they're able to help you with. If you're a corporation out there or an individual that would like to give to this program, the donate button is right there on the website. Monetary gifts are very welcome, and they're also tax deductible for you as well. Once again, that is Hearts, Hands, and Hope Foundation, supporting women and children who are battling breast and childhood cancer so that their battle may be easier. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.